That was my next question, actually. Like, how is it, managing a nonprofit, considering the fact that you don't have the funds like for-profit organizations do?
You know, it's funny, right? Because we, I'm used to working in environments where you're like, okay, we have this idea, let's send it over to marketing, or let's have legal take a look at it, or let's have our IT department help us with this, or maybe our media relations.
Right, right.
We don't have that, where
Exactly.
it's to use limited resources. I think you have to make sure that you build a team of people that's an inch deep and a mile wide. They can do a little bit of everything, because
Right.
you can very well be sitting at a meeting with the governor, or making sure that we've got coffee filters at the office when we have people
Exactly,
there.
whatever it is, yeah.
I don't. So there's nothing that I would ask my team to do that I wouldn't do myself. And I always, I tell the team, you guys don't report into me, and I don't report into our board of directors. We report into a 7-year-old little girl who's battling, with a rhabdomyosarcoma. That's who you report into, our patients. So.
What are some challenges you face as in doing this organization, like being in this position?
I think on a very human level, some of the challenges that we face is it's difficult to talk to these families. We don't have like a department, that like we don't have a group of
Like a
receptionists
social
that answers.
worker or anything
No,
like that,
we're a little bit of everything. So I think that there's days that the most difficult part of this job for sure is being on the phone with a funeral director and trying to see if you can negotiate the cost of an urn that has a unicorn on it because a
Because
mom
that's
wants
the
to pay
one
tribute to
moment.
the
Oh my
little
God.
girl who died. Those are powerful conversations that when you come home you say, man, this isn't a
And you take that
full-time
with you?
job.
I
It's
can
not-
imagine.
and of course you take it with you. I mean, you try to make sure that, the thing is that this isn't a job. This is not a full-time job. It's not a part-time job. It's an all-time job. And what I'm trying on a very personal note, if you're asking me on, on that side, is to find a way to get the people in my life and in my family to embrace that, because you do bring it home. I think there's no way of doing that, to leave that on the door. And I think the day that becomes normal, that you can have a conversation about, a family who has to sleep in the car in the Northeast in the winter because they don't have money to pay their rent, the day you're like, okay, check, then you're not doing the right job anymore. I think it's always going to come home with you.
So in working with the families, what are the resources that Live Like Bella offers or provides for the families?
So if a child has been diagnosed with cancer and the family is going through financial hardships, typically they work with a social worker, a nurse, or a physician, wherever they're being treated. So the family will fill out an application, a very simple application online. They put the name, age, diagnosis, etc., and then they tell us what they're having a hard time with.
Right.
They have fallen behind on a car payment. They can't pay their electric bills. They don't have money to go to the supermarket. And then our office receives it and reviews the paperwork, and then we send back support to the family depending on what they need.
Depending on the aspects of it.
Correct.
But it's not just in Miami, and it
No,
works
it's
in
all
all the
over the
different
world.
states.
It's all over the world.
Okay. And
We've never turned a family away.
That's great. That's awesome. And do you think there's enough state funding for pediatric cancer?
We're very blessed that the state of Florida has made pediatric cancer a priority, and that's our headquarters, right? So we're very grateful to the legislature in Florida for the work that they've done and the commitment they've made. The president last month, for the first time in the history of the United States, talked about childhood cancer in his State of the Union. There was a cancer fighter sitting, in the gallery during the State of the Union, and I think it brought a lot of attention and shed light on a topic that people aren't really super talking about, right? So from a funding standpoint, I mean, the state of Florida has made a commitment to us, and in our government relations department and with our big lobbying team that we don't have, my commitment, our commitment as a foundation is to work, not just in the state that we call home, but around the country where we are, California,
families.
especially Texas. California and Texas are two of the largest states in terms of volume of patients.
Of just
that we
people
see.
in general, yeah. Yeah.
Did I answer your question?
No, for sure, you definitely did.
Sorry.
Just this year in 2019, what are going to be some of your goals in the legislative session, at least when you go up there?
Well, funny enough, today is the first day of the legislative session in Florida. We get the next 60 days, some action-packed items. We have a couple of bills up this week, incidentally. This week, tomorrow. Talking about a couple different opportunities for funding. One of the ways that we're hoping to raise money is when you go and register your vehicle or to re-register your
Okay,
tag or whatever.
right.
You can.
Your car.
Your car, well, your
Your car.
car, I think it's, I don't know if it's
Because you have
motor vehicles.
motorcycles or just anything that has a chapa.
The,
right?
a chapa.
A chapa.
I don't even know how you say
Okay.
chapa in English. It's a license
License plate.
For
Yeah,
a
yeah.
chapa renewal, that when you go to pay the fees, that you'll have an option to check off and have Live Like Bella be one of the recipients if you want to make a donation as a donor. So that's one of the things, that's legislation that needs to be passed. So
Because
we're
that
working
can
on
only be
that.
approved through a
Through the-
vote.
yeah, mhm,
Understood.
Through a vote. And then we're also looking for an allocation of funds to help us with family support services in Florida only.
So for your in-services.
Correct, for the in-treatment
Okay.
support. And those monies stay in Florida. You know, when Florida taxpayers make a commitment
Understood.
to
So those
helping.
funds won't go to help somebody out of state.
Not
because
if they
it's
come
meant
from
for
the Florida legislature, no, they won't.